Raise the alarm! What is going on? This is an emergency podcast. How are you, David?
Mate, I am good, but there's a few surprises that dropped today. Some of them good, and some of them, what the hell is going on at Erebus?
Oh, I don't know, mate. I do not know. A culture problem, whatever. I don't know, but we'll get into that a little bit later because right now, mate, WAU has sent it and we have the new liveries.
We do. Bit of a surprise on Woody's car, Ryan Wood. Truck assist appeared.
Yeah.
Car looks good though, from my opinion.
Truck assist car looks the goods for me as well. I think it looks quite tough. I'm less sold on Chaz's Chariot, only because I feel the teal's a bit soft, but what do you reckon?
Yeah, the teal and the white is always a bit of a tough combo, and obviously it's a branding colour, and they put a lot more on this year to kind of keep that branding strong and consistent for Optus. But yeah, it doesn't clash, but it's just not quite right.
Nah, just not. I think it's actually really good up until that side profile where it loses the black, and I think it just gets a bit washed out. So that's my take on it. I was really happy with Woody's old livery. I thought it was quite strong. And I think they've taken a little bit from Erebus last year with that gold setup and the way they've actually done the front end, which was kind of, I said it would look good. Everybody else didn't agree, but clearly WAU agrees with me.
Yeah, maybe it's just them and you. But anyway, I'm not sure. I don't think it didn't offend me as such, but I think I wasn't really a fan. But yeah, they've definitely taken some guidelines or some hints from Erebus on that styling at the front.
Did I say Erebus earlier? Penrite Racing?
Well,
I've got Erebus on the brain, my friend.
I think I just followed suit.
Yeah, I think you did.
I'm too tired for this.
I know. Well, we're not supposed to be podcasting, mate. Usually we're on the couch having an ice cream. I'm sweating balls upstairs.
I know. Well, we'll make it as quick as possible then. I'll quickly jump to the livery release date. So we have had that recently drop, and obviously WAU have just launched theirs as we record now. Feb 2nd, we'll see BRT, so that is going to be an interesting one. We'll see how they go with some of their sponsorships. Obviously, they've got the second car now with JC in there. And then Feb 3, we've got both the Penrite, which is going to be an exciting day for us.
Definitely exciting.
And also, who's that other mob? Oh, hang on. Let me Control C, Control V. Oh, yeah, Red Bull Racing will be launching on that day too.
Look, they're not as bad as DJR, for the moment anyway. They do seem to change it up, but I haven't seen a good Red Bull livery since they actually started getting Red Bull sponsorship. So I'm not really fussed on that one, but I am intrigued to see what Penrite Racing come up with on Saturday, and to see it in the flesh will be excellent.
Yes, looking forward to that open day. So we'll be there and we'll share some pictures and some commentary, I'm sure, on the day.
Absolutely.
Or just after the day.
Exactly.
But let's crack open the walnut. Let's I don't know what else I can say, but Jesus, it has been an absolute bombshell with the very he's a little confrontational, I think, between him and some of the teams, but he is rarely wrong. AVL has dropped the bombshell about Brodie departing Erebus. Yep. So yeah. Mate, it's light on in detail, but based on what you've read, how's the shake-up going for this year?
I don't know what to say about this, because honestly, I like many of us, I'm sure, we're all just sitting there and suddenly this news just drops out of nowhere. Thanks, AVL, and you make my life hard. Yeah, out of nowhere, oh yeah, by the way, Erebus Brodie, nah, no more. So, from what I've read so far, we've got one report, which I don't believe was AVL's report, but another publication reported that it started back at the Bend Motorsport Park. Now, if that's true, that coincides with the Will Brown move. to Triple Eight.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine there's something within the team and the dynamic of maybe words exchanged when people found out and so forth that didn't sit well with Brodie. I don't know. What could have possibly gone wrong, especially considering at that weekend he dominated?
Yeah, I think if you think about the championship too, he did dominate that weekend, and it was from that announcement date that he really just focused and just absolutely drove some of his best races in the following rounds that he really cemented himself as the championship leader. And so, maybe that has everything to do with whatever happened on that weekend that kick-started the fire, and he was just like a bit of, well, stuff you. I'm going to go win the championship, and and then obviously he's now decided to
Chuff off.
Apparently, to leave, with no seat either, because they're all full.
Well, this was the other thing that I read. So, due to his contract obligation to finish off the end of the year with Erebus, this means that he can't take another seat anywhere else on the supercar grid. But that doesn't stop him going to another category.
Nope. He could drive locally, Trans Am, and whatever else he wants to drive. He definitely could. Or maybe overseas. That the old seat right next to somewhere near Shane Van Gisbergen might be warming up.
I got a hot tip that might be the case. Richard Childress stuck around the back of the pit lane quite a lot towards the end of the year. He was there in Adelaide. He was very, very smitten with Brodie. So I do have that feeling that we may get a bit of a NASCAR-ish announcement like Shane. But isn't it interesting that our last 3 champions, no more, mate, not in the category.
They all left.
They're all gone.
There's no defending. No one wants to defend their championship. I mean, I must admit, like, Scotty has obviously won a couple in a row.
Yeah,
Shane's won it before, so he has done that. But yeah, for Brodie, insane. I mean, could it be his first and only championship in the category?
Quite possibly. I mean, he's no surprises. He wants to go to NASCAR, so he's got his championship. Okay, he hasn't got Bathurst, but I'm sure he can return at a later date. He is still young, so
yeah,
why not? I mean, if you can get into your NASCAR series early, take the punt, give it a go.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess as more details kind of emerge, it's going to be interesting, definitely, to keep an eye on it and to watch what happens, because if we get back to, I guess, the initial concern or issue, then there's major issues at Erebus because the culture piece has raised its head up before and looks like it's potentially still a problem there, with Barry just continuously driving the bus back over his drivers and other people in the team.
Well, this is the question, isn't it? Is it Barry? Like, we don't know. We're hearsay because both you and I sort of have a similar outlook towards the way he manages the team and so forth.
Yeah.
But is it time for Betty to get back involved a little heavier and sit Barry on the sidelines a little bit so that these things don't arise? But there has to be some sort of culture issue. You don't just lose drivers overnight.
No, and I think that will be also a telling position for them as to what happens moving forward, whether anything actually leaks or not. But if Betty gets more involved, or Barry takes a back step, or Barry departs for I don't know, mental health, family time, whatever it is that the reason happens, I would expect that should be a telling sign as to what the issue is. Yeah, I've got to watch my bias because, as you said, we both sort of have a feeling about him and the way he has behaved publicly. And yeah, if that is the case, that it is down to his handling of situations, potentially it's going to be Betty that has to step in or purchase, good money, spend good money and get the right person that can come in and maintain a professional culture that is what I would say more modern, where you can manage the drivers in the right way rather than an old school mentality, and really get the team performing the way it should be.
Yep, couldn't agree any more with what you just said. Look, might be time for a change, especially now that they have had that championship win. They've won Bathurst before, but I don't know how you remove someone who's got a vested interest in the actual team. So it'll be very interesting to see what the next moves are, because it may make or break that team and its future.
Yeah, well, I guess the main thing is that there will be more news that will break on this, and keep up to date with us on the socials. We'll try and share anything that we can.
Yeah, definitely.
If anything breaks drastically, then another emergency pod we'll jump on. But other than that, any last things from you?
Look, mate, I'm just looking forward to the season getting underway now. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of all this silliness that will just unfold throughout on the way into the lead-up of the first round. But for me, really happy with WAU at the moment. Really surprised by Brodie's announcement, I guess, and really looking forward to Penrite Racing on Saturday.
Yeah, really looking forward to that too. Hopefully the livery and the turnout's going to be amazing. So, can't wait for that.
Absolutely, mate. Well, as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to this emergency pod. As Damo said earlier, please subscribe, like, and stay tuned on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, etc., because we'll try and bring you what we know when we know it. And we look forward to speaking to you all soon.
Yep. And if you do like the content, here's a video that might tickle your fancy with our 2024 predictions.
That's it. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.